Hey friends, I want to talk about a very specific technique with love practice with the heart that's worked really well for me in managing and regulating my emotions. That's a little subtle and hard to explain. I have led techniques on this guided meditation. I've led guided meditations on this technique before, but it's a little subtle. And so I thought I'd do a video about it. I explained it to a friend the other day and they got it and was like, oh, that's really helpful. So one phrase you could use to describe it is like heart juxtaposition, where you're juxtaposing how you feel about two different things in your heart. And I think they call it pendulation in somatic experiencing, and also titrating. Those are slightly different concepts from somatic experiencing. But okay, so here's the thing. Say you're going through something hard, like a breakup or a confusing experience with a friend or a painful experience at work or whatever, and it's on your heart, you're feeling things about it, and it's really intense. On some level, some way of seeing it that might be useful is that you're attached to something that's making it emotionally challenging for you, and that's okay. That's really normal. It happens to me all the time. That's why I learned this technique. But also attachment is a cause of suffering, of subjective pain that's caused by yourself, really, at some level, whatever the circumstances are. Of course, the circumstances are not great, but this is what the Buddha talked about as the second arrow, where there's the first arrow that hits you, and then there's the second arrow of the suffering that you add on. So this technique is you take whatever you're experiencing, whatever it is that you're going through, and you feel it. You feel your body, your emotional body, your heart, and you really validate that. It's like, yeah, I am going through that. I am feeling sad about that, or angry, or afraid, or whatever it is, often multiple layers of different things. The most painful experiences of my own emotional life have been ones that had 7 or 8 different feelings, or at least it feels like that. Maybe it's just 3 or 4, but it's like, oh, I'm feeling a lot about this, and it's multiple different things, and that's really intense. So you start by feeling it and validating it and be like, yeah, I do feel that. This makes sense that I would be feeling that. You honor that, you accept it, you welcome it, you love it. And then you think of, this is the tricky part, but you think about something that you've experienced in the past that was similar, but that's no longer activating for you. So if you, for example, a breakup's a good example, because I've had lots of breakups at this point. You're going through a breakup, and it hurts, you're sad, you're confused, you're angry, whatever. You feel that, and then you think of another breakup that you've had in the past that you felt similarly about at the time. And then, but it is sort of no longer active for you. You're no longer suffering about it. It's like, yeah, that happened 3, 4, 5, 10 years ago, and it was hard at the time, but I don't lose sleep over it now. And you bring that to mind, you remember what it felt like, and also you experience what it's currently like for you to relate to that thing or that situation or that person or whatever it is. And you really feel that. You're like, oh yeah, that thing happened to me. It kind of sucked. And also I'm okay with it now. And you, in that way, access a sense of peace and acceptance and equanimity about that situation. It has to be something you're not currently activated about, but that's similar to what you're currently going through. So this does benefit from some life experience. So you bring that to mind and you really feel that. You feel the sense of okayness that you have about it. It's like, yep, that sucked and I'm okay with it. I'm all right with it now. And then you go back to the current situation and you feel that and you're like, yeah, this really sucks and I'm upset about it. I'm sad, I'm angry, and you feel that. And you kind of just go back and forth between these two different feelings, the equanimity and acceptance of the past situation, the pain and hurt of the current situation. And you just keep going back and forth, really feeling them fully until what you're aiming for is a kind of transfer between whatever's happened in the past and how you feel about it, the equanimity that you can access about that, the acceptance, the peace, and then transferring that to the current experience and being like, yeah, this really sucks, and it's possible for me to feel peace about this also. And typically some kind of thought will arise, or some shift in the way you're seeing things, where you still validate and experience the pain that you're currently going through, but it becomes lighter and more acceptable and like, yeah, this sucks. It shifts from this is terrible and bad and why is this happening to me to, oh yeah, sucks and I'd rather this wasn't happening, but it is happening and that's okay. And I'm going to get through this. This will change, whatever. It might be different for you what that looks like or what thoughts you have associated with it. But if you go back and forth between similar experiences, one of which is currently activating and one of which you have resolved and feel at peace with, then you can access that peace and equanimity, acceptance of reality in the current moment through moving back and forth between thinking about, recalling, feeling those situations, and accessing the quality that you have about it, and in particular, the equanimity and acceptance in the past situation. So this kind of heart juxtaposition has been really useful to me as a way of resolving emotional challenges that are painful. The same approach can be used in other situations. I've used it to cultivate self-love, for example. When it was easier for me to feel love for other people than for myself, I would go back and forth between wishing someone else love and wishing myself love until the love sort of transferred and it was easy to feel that love for myself. There's some other situations that I've used a similar maneuver, but hopefully this gives you some ideas. If there's something that's on your heart that's challenging for you and you've done metta or love practice, if you've worked with your emotions, then give this a try and let me know how it goes.